Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to start our meeting.
Jokes write themselves.
It's not hard.
The jokes.
The Borough of Yaden, Delaware County, Pennsylvania Borough Council Workshop Meeting for January 3rd, 2023. Would you stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Talia, she's on the road. So you want to? All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Chill because this is very tonight.
So
It's colder.
residents will be artists. Accent.
Residents are speaking out, they simply don't have any time.
As long as we're not discussing business.
All right. For residents wishing to speak, Liz?
You're not going to follow the agenda? You're just going to flip-flop all over the place?
If you want to speak, you can come forward now. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, it's like old is blue, this is wrong.
For starters, I want to remind everyone that the next installment of the zoning board hearing for Restore is tomorrow at 6 p.m.
Stand at the podium, please.
right here on the second floor tomorrow at 6. As you know, Sharon is using our tax money as her own, and we are footing the bill for 5 lawyers to pursue her appeal. We've paid at least $50K for only 2 of those 5 lawyers. If Sharon were sincerely opposed to Restore, she would have taken legislative action this year to prevent recreational marijuana from being sold in the borough before that too becomes legalized. Her lack of action proves this was all just a political stunt on our dime. The ramifications of Sharon's appeal against Restore go far beyond her misappropriation of tax funds. This could have far-reaching consequences. This kind of interference from a corrupt government official could very well make other businesses hesitate to come here for years to come. Come tomorrow night and support Restore and our community against corruption. Sharon, you seem to be getting confused. When you see the word council, that does not mean you. Council does not mean Sharon Council. It means 7 councilors. When you passed the motion for council to appoint residents to the police chief search committee, that means 7 councilors needed to vote to appoint individuals, not you. Council's money, as you like to call the taxes that residents pay to run this town, is not Sharon Council's money. Jobs must be advertised and all 7 councilors must vote to appoint the candidate. Unlike how you personally appointed Isaac Dotson and Crystal Sims and Gary Corr and Joel Avery and Carl Ewald and everyone else you put on payroll without proper procedure. Why is it, Mr. Manager, after a year of on-the-job training, 98K now, does the borough manager still not know how to update the borough calendar? Someone came last night because that's what the borough calendar said. Someone came here to the meeting because the borough calendar says it was last night.
Oh, no.
Why are the meeting minutes for October and November still not posted? Why are we paying people who can't or won't do their jobs? Why haven't you advertised for the part-time officers you said you would hire on December 6th at your Zoom town hall? No advertisements. A month later. Why are the residents paying for the borough to have a Zoom account, but not being denied Zoom access to council meetings? Lansdowne offers Zoom to residents. Why do you continue to refuse to appoint someone to the Civil Service Commission so we can hire full-time officers? Why do you continue to refuse to appoint the recommended candidate for foreman of the Public Works Department? Are you trying to keep these positions open so you can give them away as favors? Did you want to say something, Isaac? You seemed to want to answer me a minute ago.
You know, I'll share this much with you. I don't need a mic. I'll share this much with you. First, move back. Move back. You're too close to me. You're too close to me. Move back. Thank you. That's fine.
Clara Johnson?
Not Mr. Cards.
You need to mic.
Agenda. This is an outline of agenda. I think after all your years as council, you would understand how to make an agenda, and if you needed help, you have 6 other councilors, you can ask for help in creating an agenda. This agenda has no content. It is a Sunshine Act violation. Agendas are supposed to inform the residents about what will be discussed. We are to have 24 hours notice of what will be discussed.
Thank you, Liz. I agree with everything that you have said. And thank you so much. Happy New Year to everyone else.
Happy New Year.
All year of 2022, you and your way of controlling have not followed process, protocol, nor procedure. As you represent our borough, you have given a bare-boned agenda, just like Liz have said all year. Did you expect to receive more than you get from the residents? When we try to engage, stop shutting us out. We ask questions to find no one can speak. That just happened. She asked a question. No one can speak. There have been no department reports from the floor, nor have there been any committee meetings, nor have there been all counselors here that should be here tonight. But yet and still, you want to control. You should try to control the counselors. Your counselors, not all of them. Thank you, Leanna. Thank you, Beatty. And Monroe isn't here, but you should listen to them. Will there be any changes at all? There is always considerations from the floor on legislative night, but no motions. Because considerations, I think, means you're going to think about it. But there have not been a motion on the floor all year. You have not been great stewardess over our tax dollars. Stop hiring lawyers to pay your legal fees. Listen to Mr. Nichols. Thank you. You are one of the best things that we have here now. Mr. Boggs, do your job and stop collecting a paycheck.
You're welcome, Ms. Johnson.
Thank you, girls.
Thank you. There's a double. I'm not sure. I'm scared. I know they rain because I know how to dance.
No, y'all know who he is. He's a concerned neighbor.
Mr. Peterson, you can come up, sir. Oh, it's okay, yeah.
Yeah, I can't, this was my first time coming here, just trying to be more involved with living in the community for a while. And I only have one question is, so when people come up and speak, like if I'm up speaking, you guys, and I have a question, how do I get, or how, or when do I get the response to the question?
I haven't gotten one all year.
And I'm asking out of ignorance.
Mr. Peterson, you can speak with the manager after the meeting to let him know what your concerns are. Let him know what your concerns are. If it depends on it depends on your question.
No, I'm just saying, as a citizen, when I'm sitting and listening, whenever I have a question, and I'm always going to be reluctant, I just was asking like, what?
Okay, yeah, let me give you just a brief overview of what these meetings are. The meeting that you're in right now is called a workshop meeting. It was formerly called a caucus meeting. This meeting is required by law for every borough. You have to have a caucus meeting or a workshop meeting 12 times a year. Our meetings are scheduled for the first Monday. When there's a holiday, then it's the first Tuesday. This meeting is a meeting that's designed for every department head, our highway department, our code department, our finance department, our legal department, our borough manager, all of those persons, our mayor, all of those persons will be here tonight to give a report, a preliminary report that goes in, that comes in tonight, these literal reports that are turned in. If you have a question with regards to the highway department or the code department or if you had a question about when your trash was going to be picked up, or if it was missed. Any and all of those questions, speed bumps, you name it, the engineer is here, all of these people, heads of departments are here in order to answer your questions on a night like tonight. Now, if you had a personal issue with your property or with your neighbor or whatever, Mr. Dodson is the borough manager. He is the gentleman that you can, after a meeting, you have something personal you want to ask him, you go right to him, okay? Now, after saying that, having said that, our highway department manager is here, chief officer is here, our mayor is here, our police chief generally is here. Our engineer is here, a representative from our engineering contractors are here. Of course, the mayor is here and other councilors are here. So this meeting tonight is for, the reason we have these tables situated this way is because every department head will be at one of these tables, so you can ask personal questions or questions of interest to those persons. Okay, so that's just a general format. When you come back on Thursday, I think you were here, our last meeting on the third Thursday of December.
Upstairs. Yeah.
Correct. That meeting is what is called a voting meeting. It is the legal meeting. It is where we make motions and pass decision makings, okay? Decision making. Excuse me, please. So that meeting is an official meeting. It's a voting meeting. You have to have a quorum at that meeting. We have to have a quorum at this meeting to conduct any business here. So that's what this is for. That meeting up there, we're not designed in that meeting to answer questions to the audience. Those questions you can still meet with the borough manager, or if you had a legal question or a finance question, finance director is here, the solicitor is here. You can ask those questions after that meeting. That meeting is designed to conduct the business of the borough. That's what it's designed to do. Okay? I hope I answered your question. Did you say you had another question? Go right ahead, sir. Okay. Go ahead.
So for the meeting like last week, right, the ones on Thursday, when people come up and speak or want to speak, it's not to actually ask a question, it's just to speak my grievance or my...
Or your compliment or what have you. That is correct. Yes, sir. All right. Thank you.
I'm asking to be recognized, Mr. Peterson,
You may be recognized.
and the rest of the.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, you cannot. We
No,
have to do
because
the
I
roll
want to
call.
address
We have
Mr.
to do-
Peterson.
We have to do the roll call. We haven't done it yet.
So,
Okay?
Because there was no official,
Okay, let's do it. Okay, call the roll.
Now we
Mr.
doing
Dodson.
it, now we doing the roll call. Here, how you doing?
Okay.
Mayor Roy Napkins, please.
Present.
President Sharon, Council Harris.
Present.
Thank you. Vice President Loren Johnson. Councilor Talia Jones Waters.
She's gonna be late.
Councilor Carlette Brooks. Councilor Nicole Beatty.
Present.
Thank you. Councilor Latoya Monroe.
Present.
Councilor Leanna Rollcloud.
here.
Representative Mr. Mark Munch. Mr. Boggs. Nafis Nichols, our Finance Director.
Present.
Yolanda Hughes, our Tax Collector. And Megan representing Mr. Joe Facuso for Panoni. Thank you.
So
Yes,
I'm
yes, you may.
recognized.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Happy New Year,
Do you need the
everyone.
mic?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Happy New Year, everyone. Good to see you all. Thanks for coming out this evening. With respect to the question that Mr. Peterson asked, with respect to when questions are asked, is he supposed to receive an answer? You're absolutely supposed to receive an answer. It's all about transparency, and it's all about just being respectful. If someone asks you a question, even if you don't know the answer, I do not know the answer at this time. Please allow me some time to get the answer for you. If it's something personal, per se, just relating to you alone, and it doesn't affect anyone else, then you may want to just address that question directly to the borough manager. But there's a lot of times that people come up to the podium and they're asking questions that has something to do with everyone, or someone else maybe have the same question. So absolutely, you should receive an answer. We're not Oz. We're people. We're not above you. We're all on the same level here.
That's right.
The only difference is we ask that you just don't belabor the point and be respectful, because I'm going to give you the respect when I receive the respect. And I demand my respect, and I'm hoping that everyone here is going to demand their respect. So if you ask a question and I know the answer to it, I'm going to answer it for you.
Let me give you the decorum, Mr. Peterson. What Councilor Roadcloud just described to you is her opinion. That is not the prerogative of the chair of the council or the president of the council. You should not be answering
You have
questions to the
1/7
audience.
of the vote.
That is not,
1/7
that
of
is
the
not.
vote. 1/7.
If Councilor Roadcloud was
1/7.
president of council, she would have to abide by the same
1/7
rules.
of the vote.
And there's a reason you
This is
have a
not a
chair.
dictatorship.
There's a
This is
reason
a
you have,
democracy.
there's a reason
This
you
is a
have order.
democracy.
There's a reason you have order in council meetings to conduct the business. You can do your own research, sir. You will find, if you do your own research, how orderly councils operate throughout this county. Dozens of them operate in this capacity and with this type of organization. You don't engage the public back and forth in a formal meeting. That is incorrect.
Then what is the purpose?
Council President, can I
They
ask you
do
a question?
they do that to disrupt and distract, but that is not the order.
Council President, can I ask you a
I'm
question?
asking to be recognized.
Councilor Beatty, you're recognized.
So my question is, if residents can't get answers to their questions, what is the point of citizens forum then? Why are they being asked to speak in the first place if they're not going to have their issues
Well,
addressed? So they just stand up there for their health and then go sit down?
No, that's not the case, Councilor Beatty. If, for example, you were, if you were the chair of the code department, and you have people with questions about code, about their driveways, or about their trash pickup,
Right.
those questions can be directed to the manager, or those questions can be directed to you after the meeting. The purpose of the meeting is to present information here tonight for actions that can be taken tonight. For example, with the engineer, if the engineer had motions that needed to be approved, come the third Thursday, she would present those tonight.
Okay.
And any questions relating to that, we talked about the McDade and Church Lane issues, the accidents, the proposal that to correct those problems there. Those are questions that can be entertained here tonight. When we get 3 Thursdays from now, whatever she has presented or her boss has presented, we'll vote on those things on that Thursday. So that's how it's designed. I didn't invent it. The people way before I got here invented it.
Residents, not so much the committee chair.
Well, yeah, with the residents, if they have an issue, it's like, say if they need a handicap parking, they can make those requests. The manager with the highway department or the police department, whoever is in charge of that is how that's how problems get corrected. That is how constituents' needs are being met that way. That's how it's done.
Committee been to a workshop meeting since 20 minutes in March.
He's
So
out this
I'm
evening. He's
asking
sick
to
this
be,
evening.
excuse me,
You said
code director, you didn't say Carlos.
Councilor Monroe is
I've
recognized.
asked to be recognized.
Yeah, you're recognized,
Thank you.
Councilor Monroe.
So is it Mr. Peterson? Yeah, so, Latoya Monroe, it's nice to meet you. I saw you at the last meeting as well. Thanks for coming out. So the way that this is structured is that there should be committee meetings that are taking place, and residents should be able to come to those committee meetings and, bring questions, comments, concerns. There should be a council liaison for each committee that then comes together with council and kind of brings those issues here. If those things are done beforehand, you may not have to wait a full month to come and get your information recognized at the podium. And while it is not, and I want you to pay attention to the word choice that was used, it is not the council president's prerogative to use, to answer questions when people ask them. So yeah, it's not required, but it is common courtesy. If you're asking me a question and I do know the answer, I will get back to you. I will let you know now, or I'll get back to you. But what we find happening here is, I'll get back to you is a general statement for sit down and shut up. And that's why it gets a little contentious in here, because we know people's concerns are not being addressed, and people are not being provided answers month after month after month. I mean, if you look around and ask people in this room, how many people have asked a question via email, phone calls, or in person, and they have not replied to them, I think you would find that that number would be plenty. So that would be the way that if it's my opinion, but that's the way that, that's the way you engage a community. We throw that word community around, but none of us are not we're not abiding by it.
No, we got the chairs there. Okay, next on the agenda is, we're going to start here. I'm going to call on the committee reports. The engineer's report. We finished Fit Citizens Forum. Okay, Anna, you can come up.
Don't omit, don't destroy, don't do it your way, do it the right way. Thank you.
I have a request. We are now beginning a new year. In 2022, we saw a lot of things happening that should not have happened. We saw a lot of disrespect to the residents. I'm asking that we make a change with regards to 2023, and that we start respecting the residents, we start listening to what they're saying. Please? She's totally ignoring me. But anyway, in 2022, some of the council members were disrespectful to the residents. There was no transparency. We've asked question after question after question. We have never gotten answers. We're told that we'll get answers after the meeting. We've never gotten any answers. We've been concerned with regards to public safety. That's been completely ignored. We've asked questions with regards to expenses. That's been ignored. In June, in one of the meetings in June, I brought up that the budget, the expenses compared to the budget seemed to be a problem level, that at the end of the year, we were going to be exceeding the budget. Mr. Dotson advised me, oh, we've got it covered. We'll be fine. Well, we ended the year, and where were we? We're over budget. So with regards to 2023, I'm asking that we start being respectful, we start paying attention to the Sunshine Act and stop the violations. Public safety is one of the most important priorities here. I want to make sure that we start taking a look with regards to that. We actually need to convene the Civil Service Commission. There is a question with regards to what residents had been involved with regards to the selection of a police chief. Several residents had said that they were interested. They were not informed why they were not being involved.
Council vote as required.
That is correct. The other thing is with regards to the police chief search. There's a lot of questions with regards to how that was going down and what we're doing with regards to the Valori Group and what we're actually accepting from them. So there are different things that we're concerned about. We are concerned with regards to all of the lawsuits, all of the legal fees. We're also asking that if you are getting advice from the solicitor and from the various attorneys, that you start listening and take the advice that they're giving, because it is costing this borough a lot. Some other things are with regards to people and vendors. We want to make sure that you start hiring qualified vendors. And if people can't do their jobs, then why are we giving people additional 4% increases? The only other thing that I will bring up is that we've been talking about Public Works. There was a recommended candidate. That candidate still has not gotten that position, and there is questions with regards to why. What is the holdup with regards to that? Thank you. Thank you.
Under old business,
I have some old business here.
okay, Counselor.
So my old business relates to the promotion of Ricardo Maxey in the Public Works Department, promotion to mechanical supervisor, foreman. It's been about 3 months now, and Public Works Department is still in need of a mechanical foreman. Mr. Maxey was highly recommended to this council by the borough manager. We were supposed to vote on him months ago, and the vote was stopped because you, Sharon Council Harris, said that you had someone else in mind. But it's not your prerogative to have someone else in mind to fill the positions within this borough. The position should go to the best qualified applicant. And Mr. Maxey is the best qualified applicant pursuant to the referral from borough manager that you rave about, Isaac Dodson. So it is my expectation at our upcoming legislative meeting that we have on the agenda a motion to promote Mr. Maxey to the role of mechanical foreman within the Public Works Department. That would be greatly appreciated. Like Ms. Anna said, we need to stop playing these games, stop with the nepotism and cronyism, and run this borough in a professional manner.
Do you want to? Yeah,
First of all, it's a personnel issue.
it's a personnel issue, and you really can't discuss it on the floor.
Well, it was a personnel issue when we were supposed to vote for Mr. Maxey months ago. And it was said then that the issue was going to be discussed, whatever the issue was going to be discussed with all council members. A meeting was never called. No discussion ever took place with the rest of the council members. So to me, it's just a can is being kicked down the road. So it's not a personnel issue. This is a favoritism issue, and it needs to stop.
We have not had an executive session to discuss Mr. Maxey or anyone else.
We have had several
We have not had an executive session.
Between the last time we had the discussion about Mr. Maxey and today. We have
The last time we met, the last time we
in
met.
addition to special meetings. Don't start those lies. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Not in the new year.
As of right now, the foreman position is off the table right now. It is a personnel issue, and we will not be discussing it here in this meeting today. Thank you.
So whose decision is it for the position to be taken off the table? Whose decision?
And why?
Who unilaterally made that decision? I need to know.
We can move on to the
No, we can't move on. No, we can't.
Yes.
Who made that decision?
The Counselor
made that decision?
Jones Waters has said take it off the table. Yeah, she has.
Jones
hold on
Waters
just a
is
minute.
not the
She's a personnel. She's a personnel. She's a personnel chair.
Counselors.
The she, yeah,
table, that's it. It's off the table.
yeah.
Oh, so it's off the table. Okay.
It's off the table.
You know what? But that didn't stop you from having your little community day with the hot dogs that you took home afterwards. Ain't stopped you from buying shirts with the tax dollars. It didn't stop you from doing that.
Okay,
It didn't stop you from voting yes for Joel Avery, $4,500 a month. That didn't stop you. Didn't stop you from voting for private attorneys to represent you in these lawsuits. It didn't stop you. And you're talking about taking this man's livelihood and playing these games?
Obviously, we're suffering from mental illness on this panel, as you can see.
You know what? I didn't know you had a MD behind your name. I didn't know that. It's obvious.
I mean, but it is,
I'm asking
you may not write the delivery, but she ain't
I
lying.
didn't know you was an MD. You barely graduated kindergarten. Listening to somebody who was kicked out of kindergarten.
Can I be
walking in here
recognized?
with that alley cat fur on your back. No, you're the one with the mental illness. You're the one with your retarded self.
Can I?
Retard.
Can I ask for a point of order? And can I be recognized, please?
You got a whole lot of mouth. You got a whole lot of mouth. And you only got it when the police is around. You only have it. You're old dad. You look like an old dead potato. You look like an old dead.
Okay, all right, let's reel it in. Let's reel it in. Let's reel it in. Let's reel it in.
Come on, man.
Let's reel it in. All right, I don't think we're gonna solve that right now.
And I hope I pour some water on
All
your
right.
ass and make you turn green
Okay.
with all that fake jewelry you
Uh,
How about that?
Can I,
is it Mike? Is it Mike time?
to be recognized?
Hello?
Lord have mercy. I gotta laugh at that.
Hello?
Get treated for your mental.
All right, stop. Let's stop. Let's stop.
For a point of order before she passed you the mic, if that's okay.
All right. All right, point of order, Ms. Monroe.
Thelma
I think that it's very important for this council and this community to understand that mental illness is not
All right.
something that we throw around. Okay, thank you. So mental illness is not something that we,
Wrinkled potato.
So-
That potato that
All right.
fell behind the
so mental
refrigerator.
illness is
Okay.
not something that we throw around. That's not a term that we throw around.
All right. Let's,
People who have
Try to
mental
keep it civil.
illness
Let's
need
try to
be
keep it civil.
respected. They're members of our community. This is not how we speak about people with mental illnesses or with any other developmental disabilities. I am asking both of you, I'm asking
Okay.
you not to mock mental illness.
Okay.
That is not a
right.
healthy look for any of us.
She's supposed
I know. Yeah.
I tried.
No, to my report. I'm gonna do it with my report. Okay, all right, let's reel it in on the mental illness. Counselor Monroe's correct. Both sides, let's try to reel it in and let our tempers not flare, okay? All right, let's reel it in, come on. Counselors, let's reel it in. I was asked to give my report, which I'm happy to do. Hello? So, I don't have a written report. I will have the written report for the legislative meeting, but there are a couple of things I do want to underscore. As everybody knows, that we are in the throes, in the process of the chief search. All right, I am concerned about the staffing. We have been concerned about the staffing levels, with 15 down and 2 retiring this month. That will leave us 13. We have 2 on long-term disability. That leaves us with 11. And then we have 1 that just resigned, a full-time officer. That leaves us with 10. And there's another officer that is going to resign, transferring. So that will leave us with around 9 or 10. So that's half the staffing that we need. That is a crisis. So we have asked this council and through the borough manager to ramp up the civil service commission. So this is a workshop meeting, so I was going to ask the manager, if you could give us an update on where that stands.
There's no update.
Excuse me. I know who I am, and I don't want to be rude. I don't want to be rude.
Okay, there we go.
Just listen. You don't have to tell me what to do.
All right, folks.
The civil service is ready to. There you go. That's why I don't speak, because you don't want me to speak.
We
You just
gotta
want to be
stop.
contentious.
I'm just telling them. Mr. Borough Manager.
Mayor, could I be recognized
Just,
for a moment?
The civil service is ready to go. We have 2 people who are on civil service. We have 6 4- and 2-year terms. We have 4 applicants for the last. Excuse me. Wait a minute. You asked me the question. Now I'm giving the answer, right? This is why I don't say it.
Go ahead, Mr.
So we have a position. All I have to do is send the applications to council. Council will review the applications. They will make a decision as to who the third person will be. The Civil Service Board will elect a president, a secretary, and a vice president, and then we will have a Civil Service Board. It is imminent. All we have to do is just send the applications to council with council president's approval.
So I'd like to be, Mayor Hipkins, if I could ask a more specific question, my question would be, can we please add to the agenda for the legislative session to make appointments to all of the vacancies of the Civil Service Commission so that we can begin the process of hiring additional officers?
yes,
The Civil
yes.
Service Commission has to open a test, and then there's approximately a 4-month process before officers can be on the street after the test is complete.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that we are asking the right questions. So my request of this council is to make appointments to all vacancies on the Civil Service Commission. We have the applicants. They were already emailed to us. So we have all of the applications. So we need to make appointments. We have been belaboring this for months now. Can we add to the agenda to make appointments to the vacancies on the Civil Service Commission? My question isn't rhetorical. Can we do
So
that?
I would redirect that question to the borough president and the borough manager. If what Mr. Dodson has said, that everything's in order, we should be able to have it on the agenda for legislative. Am I correct? Okay, good. We've come to an
Is the
agreement.
council president in agreement with that?
The council president is not in agreement.
No?
Put that in the record. Put that in the record. Yes.
So they get to pick and choose
So once
who they
again,
want to hire,
we're going to continue to be labor hiring police.
I will.
and they get pick and choose who they want to promote
Yeah, you
So I guess
for
my
any
question,
open positions.
what's the
Yeah,
reason?
and the other thing is, like I said, we really need the full-timers filled, positions filled. We do need some part-timers, so we have, do we have permission to do that?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, I think it's a general consensus of the council to hire part-time officers, as many as we can recruit.
That is not the consensus.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's not. No, it's not.
That's not
Okay.
the consensus.
Okay.
That's not the consensus.
I don't know how you.
That's why they don't wanna-
Listen. Hold on. Yeah,
State, yes.
I know. She wants a breakout. She wants a-
Mhm.
A requirement of the state.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Boggs,
So
right?
I'll include it. Okay.
You're just getting paid just to see.
Yeah.
The part-timers and the civil
The
service.
state she's going to refuse to appoint one of the
Okay.
Put it on the agenda.
to the
I know. It's not a matter. It's one of 3. We have to have everything in order as it relates to the efficiency study. as it
And
relates
wig
to
is
the
slide on.
chief.
Mr. Boggs,
There's a number. of things.
my request to
Yeah, that's
have
what I'm
Ricardo Maxey placed on the agenda for our upcoming legislative meeting. Will that be able to
If
go
that
on
has the
there?
support of 4 counselors, you can force that onto the agenda.
Okay, so how are we going to so you mean to tell me the whole year, the whole year, whatever was on the agenda had the support of 4 counselors. And how was that support recognized? Via email, via telephone call? How was it confirmed that it was in support? It was 4 counselors that supported everything that went on the agenda for the entire year of 2022.
I imagine the council president did it on her own and the other 3 did
But
not
again,
object.
I would like to know for sure, what confirmation do we have showing that support?
There was no objection from the other 3 counselors when she had it put on the agenda. So
Well, we didn't know about it until 24 hours before the meeting.
We don't get our information.
We don't
till
get
the
the
day
information
before.
until the day
if-
before.
All you need is, if you send me an email with 4 counselors on it saying that they support Mr. Maxey being on the agenda, I will make sure that that's on the agenda.
Did you receive an email in 2022 ever from 4 counselors
Never.
saying,
No.
okay?
Absolutely not.
So why is that necessary
So
now?
now we gotta.
So basically, so this is what you're saying to me, Mr. Boggs, and
Okay.
I'm not, this is what you're saying, this is what you're saying
We don't
to
have
me,
to,
Mr.
yeah.
Boggs. No, ain't no Mr. Boggs.
We're gonna,
This is what you're saying to me. Listen.
yeah, it's a personnel issue and we're not,
She didn't get ready to catch something she don't want. So what you're saying to me, so what you're threatening me again? Basically,
You're threatening me again?
Please, thank you.
You're threatening
sit
me
down.
again?
okay, Miss Susie, just
No,
follow
Miss Susie, you stop being ignorant. You stop being ignorant. You used to be a council member. Stop being ignorant. Stop being ignorant. You used to be a council member and you know better. You know better. So you stop, Larry Johnson. You know better.
The council president sets the agenda. The council president sets the agenda.
What
But if
happened? I missed
the
it.
majority of
Here.
council wants to add something, they most certainly can do that.
Right.
But the council president sets the agenda.
But if-
But if 4 or more want to add something to that, they have to do it in writing. They have to send
So
something
it
in
has
writing.
to be 4 or more.
Correct,
So
but the council president sets it to force it on.
So this is what I'm saying to the audience here.
fine. He's fine.
Because
Okay.
we do not have a legitimate council here, whatever
Excuse
the
me.
4 wants, whatever the 4 wants, they're gonna get, and the other counselors have no say. That's what it is.
You need
That's
to.
what's going on. That's why when you go to your voting polls on election day, you make sure you vote
And
for
don't
the
vote
people
for
that
this.
you have
And don't vote for this.
Do not vote
because right now, you got trash as council.
conduct yourself. Do not
Right now, you got
vote.
trash. Starting with this one right here.
Not
This red on her back.
community. The NRO has not did anything for this community, but throw nasty threats to this members of this council.
She never threatened
She
me.
never threatened me.
Members of this council. So maybe
never
she didn't
threatened me.
you, but she threatened other members of this council.
Mr. Boggs, is it a requirement to have a civil service commission?
Yes.
So then we need to get it done. So why is it not being done? Why is it not the prerogative of the council?
Because
Mr. Boggs, are you recommending
wanted
that we
Yes.
pass the law
Yes.
and have a civil service
Yes.
commission?
It's another Sunshine Act violation that needs to be reported. Just keep reporting it, that's all. Because you keep violating
Okay.
the Sunshine Act when it's at your own whim. That's not how it works.
All
We
of
need
you,
police. What's
all
the
of,
problem?
all of you that are present here tonight has experienced this madness for the past 12 months. And it's alive and well here tonight, starting the January 3rd of 2023. The politics in this room totally
2022.
distorts the purpose of business in this room.
Go back
And
to grade and
would
start
you
over
please
again.
close your mouth? Would you please close your mouth? I'm talking. You had your opportunity to talk.
You talk
Now
too
I'm
much.
talking. And you're doing, and you are
That's
one
all
of
she
the,
do is talk. She talk too much.
It's not working. It's not working.
I don't even
no
want to hear
ma'am,
it.
no ma'am.
I don't even want
And
to hear it.
so you have
I don't even
people
wanna
on
hear it.
each side
I might as well
of this
come and
debate
leave.
that has gone on for a whole year. And I want to apologize to you tonight that it's continuing. And there's no law that says you should be respectful. That's a question of character.
There's no law that says you should lie.
And you should not be lying to people. And you do it every day. Now, I'm going to put this meeting back on track. The mayor has given his report. My report tonight is to let you know that the efficiency study has been completed.
I asked to be recognized.
And you're disrespectful. You were president the last 4 years, and you continue to disrupt.
So I'm
You do it, and I have the mic, and I have the floor, and you need to be quiet.
Okay, you moved on.
That's what you need to do. You need to be quiet. Thank you.
I had a question about the
And
mayor's
I'm not
report.
answering your question. I am orchestrating this meeting. Thank you.
You're moving on.
Okay.
And I haven't had a chance to ask a question about the mayor's report.
The efficiency study is finished.
Council President.
Each counselor, after the lawyers review the efficiency study, it will be released to the public. It will be released to each counselor, and that is extremely important.
You already voted
The
to accept
status-
it, so what are you talking
The
about?
status of the police chief search has been completed. And there will be a special meeting called for that decision by this council as who that candidate, the prevailing candidate will
It will be called
be.
by the 4 counselors.
And so that is my update as far as the business. I want to also acknowledge a new author. If you have the newsletter for this quarter, there's a young woman that was recognized, a Yaden resident who has become a publisher. I just want to acknowledge her. And calendars are on their way as well.
I would like to be in the newsletter.
I want to acknowledge.
We never in the newsletter. Never. They don't ask us. It's only 4 people on council.
Stacy J. Scott, excuse me, Stacy J. Scott is a new author. Lose the Weight and Feel Great is her publication. It's in our newsletter. Also, we recognize the Yaden Historical Commission, the borough of the past into its present. I want to just acknowledge that, and of the other activities that were designed to bring our community together. I want to announce that Joanna McClinton is our new State House Speaker. We want to congratulate her as well.
That was like months ago.
We knew that.
Well,
She act like she giving us some news.
The Democrats voted her in, but I think there's some challenge from the other legislators. Well, she's.
Well, Mr.
All right.
Trent, they put it in the newsletter. It must be true.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Well, it was the news when we first got it. So if the news has changed,
But
we
you should have
apologize to
verified
you.
it. It's called
That is the fall newsletter.
now-
It's
now-
winter, so it's outdated.
Now I want to. What's next on the agenda, Ms.
I'm asking to be
Okay, the
recognized.
manager's report is next.
I'm
Mr.
asking to
Dodson.
be recognized before you move on to the manager's report. Thanks. I'll get the mic this time because, thank you.
Don't ever come near me.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Dodson. Section 1072 of the Pennsylvania Borough Code. It's the Civil Service Commission. The Civil Service Commission is established in each borough where a police force or paid fire apparatus operators are maintained. It's in our borough code. Our solicitor has said we are required to have one. So my question again is, can we add appointing members of the
No,
Civil
we're not
Service
answering the
Commission
question. No, we will not answer.
to the next
Thank you,
legislative
ma'am.
meeting.
We will not add it. Thank
Why
you, Madam President.
not?
This is Madam President.
Why
Thank
not?
you. I'm not answering you.
So understand, for the record, that the council president is refusing to establish a Civil Service Commission, thereby breaking the law. Okay, thank you.
And in addition, she
We
needs
are establishing it.
four
We are
counselors to
establishing
support
it.
that.
We're not putting
She
it on
needs
the
four
agenda.
counselors to support it, right?
Yes.
So not only is she breaking the law, but the other three are following her down the rat hole.
Go ahead, Madam.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to wish you all a happy new year. I wish the best for each and every one of you. My report is dated workshop meeting January 3rd, 2023. The pedestrian crossings have been installed on Gunther Avenue, Whitby Avenue, and Myra Avenue. As soon as the weather conditions are right, all of our crosswalks will be striped and painted. These sidewalks will provide our residents with the right-of-way when crossing against traffic, and this is a long time coming. I want to say special thanks to our Public Works Department for a job well done on decorating the front of Borough Hall, the fire station, in preparation for the Christmas tree lighting ceremony, which was a one-of-a-kind event with a Santa Claus sleigh ride around the circle. Members of the council enjoyed the festivities, including a sleigh ride around the circle, as I've said before, which took place on Longacre Boulevard. Part of my report is that I attended the school board meeting via Zoom, and that was their property committee report, which was given the topics of discussion were a new stadium at Kerr Field, possible cost overruns, and the progress moving forward for this year. On 12/20, the borough manager met with Mr. Hornacek, a representative Scantech Info Management Solutions. The purpose of this meeting is to have a proposal outlining the costs to have the borough's important documents scanned for storage in the event of fire or water damage, and going through some of our secretarial reports and treasury report. Some of them date back a long, long time. The writing in some of those documents are beautiful. They can't be replaced. And I'm waiting for a proposal now, just in case we are able, and council does decide that would like to have this information scanned to the clouds. We'd always have that information for posterity. I met with Jean Lynch of the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, along with Ms. Megan Totaro, our engineer representative, and Roy Hunter from our Recreation Department. We met at Community Park. Ms. Lynch, who represents DCNR, toured the park, giving her approval for the Delco Greenways grant, which will assist with the improvement of Yaden Community Park in terms of the tot lot, picnic tables and barbecue grills, and the extension of the picnic area, and the consolidation where we don't have to pay any money towards those renovations and improvement. The borough received a congratulatory letter from County Council acknowledging our receipt and acceptance of the Delco Greenways grant. This grant, which is in the amount of $175,315, is the third amount towards improvements at the Yaden Community Park. Our 3 digital traffic calming signs have arrived. Our meeting with Lieutenant Burns, our Superintendent of Public Works, and myself have been scheduled for training and activation. Lieutenant Burns, with the help of the public, will determine where the sign should be placed on a rotating basis and as needed. And our employee evaluations are almost complete, and complete for our department heads as well as our staff. Madam President and Council and members of the public, here ends my report. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I noticed here about the grant, the Delco Greenway grant, which is making improvements in the Yaden Community Park. But then I noticed on the engineer's report, they're still doing a feasibility study for placement of the recreation center at the community park. Would that be
whatever you done in community park, would that be wasted if they decide to have the recreation center there?
Would you like to address that?
Okay. So the area 11 improvement for the top lot, the cap expansion, the picnic tables, the cover and the walkways are all in separate areas and would not be affected by the location of the rec center if it was there. And at the same time, the rec center project is scheduled to be completed this year, or the playground improvements. Sorry.
I was about to say.
We're not even looking.
I was about to say, what?
Playground improvements, the community park improvements can be happened in 2023. Any rec center, would take years and a lot of design to complete, and we don't want to delay anything. So no, they're in very different areas of the park.
How many feasibility studies have been done, including this one?
Just two. Just two. We did one for the Yaden Swim Club, and we did one for Community Park.
So if we don't do anything, that's the money we just spent.
No, sir. Actually, that's wrong. What we've done is something that we've never done before. We have now have assessments for all of our properties. We all know now what we can build there, what we can't build there. We know the square footage of all our properties. We even know the value of our properties. So no, it's for the benefit of the money. Ask the question. I'm sorry, to interrupt. What did you ask? What did you ask?
No, I said, where would the money come from in order to build the recreation center? I know we might have a little grant here or there, but that's only a portion of what would be required. Right now, financially, I don't think we're in that kind of.
I think that's a great question, but that's putting the cart before the horse, if you don't mind me saying it. What we were, excuse me, ma'am, I was addressing the gentleman. What we're attempting to do through our Yaden Economic Development Corporation is to have a survey by which the residents will be asked a number of questions and to rate what they would like, not what I or council would like, but what the residents would like to have either at the Yaden Swim Club or Community Park. One of the questions might be, for instance, what size in terms of feet would you like to, if you look at the study that came out to Yaden Swim Club, there was a 10,000 square foot building, a 30,000 square foot building. So as residents, what would you like to see? What would you like the name to be? So there are a number of questions that we are designing so the residents can answer the survey. With that information compiled, we'll be able to get a picture of what location, how large, who owns it, who can be invited to it, the staff. Excuse. So I asked. So I'm addressing your question as you asked me and I understood it. I can't, ma'am, that's okay. You can talk over me. But I can't answer your question as to where the money will come from. Excuse me, ma'am. I can't answer your question as it relates to where the money's come from. But all I know is that we will work our behinds off to ask our state rep and ask anyone to help us once we set the goal for what type of building we like to have there. That's what I can tell you. Are there any other questions, please?
Yes,
Yes,
I have
ma'am.
a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll defer to Ms. Lee. She says patience.
Yes, Ms. Lee.
That project that's going to take place on Chester and Church, it was supposed to be meetings to inform the residents in the area. When will those meetings?
That meeting, be real frank with you, that meeting was already held. If you look at the report from the Planning Commission, that builder, that developer met with those residents in that adjacent area. They asked for a lot of things to be changed. The developer or the owner of that tobacco shop agreed to everything those residents asked for. That meeting took place.
Okay, my concern is
Yes,
I'm a
ma'am.
block away from that.
Yes, ma'am.
And no one on my block was asking me to participate or the input wasn't sought. And I'd like to know why not. I can see that parcel of land from my back porch. And I think that people on my block and around the corner should have been included, and they were not.
I wasn't, to answer your question in my own way, is I wasn't here, but what I can do, if you so choose, I would be more than happy to meet with you, have the developer or the owner of that property meet once again with you and your neighbors to resolve any issue you have.
I would like that, because if I can see that from my back porch, I should have been included, and I wasn't.
We can make that happen. And I want to thank you, by the way, for all your suggestions by email for grants that may benefit the Borough of Yaden. I really appreciate it.
So I have
Yes,
a
ma'am.
question.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Since you spoke about having applications for the Civil Service Commission and being ready to make a decision, I just wanted to let everyone know that there's also a section in the Borough Code regarding vacancies, and it reads, "A vacancy occurring in the commission for any reason shall be filled by the council for the unexpired term within the period of 30 days after the vacancy occurs."
Violation.
I just want to I know that, I asked this a few times already, but can we add to the agenda to make appointments to the vacancies on the Civil Service Commission?
She said no.
Well, let's break
Then
the
she
law.
said no.
Solicitor's report, Mr. Boggs.
Yeah, right.
Well, if anyone wants to find that section that I read from, it's the PA Borough Code, Section 1172. 1172.
Particularly on the efficiency support report. Particularly on the efficiency report for the request for the.
So the only things that I've been working on that I can really say publicly is the response to the Sunshine Act complaint, and we'll be going through Mr. Valori's report, Dr. Valori's report. The only things that so far I believe that our lawyers are asking us to look through are really just names of certain individuals to be redacted, and potentially any legal conclusions that Dr. Valori would have come to. But everything else should be made public. I'm not anticipating a whole lot of redactions, and I don't think any of the substantive information that he went through will be redacted. So I'm happy to report that soon that will be made public to everyone. I'll certainly I answer any questions anybody has that I can about anything, not just the two things that I just said.
Yeah,
I'll
I
open
have
it
a
up.
question.
Yes.
So with regard to the Civil Service Commission, I just want to make sure while you're standing there
We're
and
not
their
gonna be
cameras
answering
focused
any-
directly.
1172C, vacancy should be filled within 30 days. Yes, this has
And
been talked about since last year.
We are required to have one.
Yes, yes,
Vacancy should be filled
So
within
Yes.
30 days.
Mr. Boggs, Mr. Boggs.
yes.
Let me have the mic a moment. Have the mic a moment. Yeah.
Yeah, bemoan the mic. Councilor Monroe was sitting on council the year before and did not, obey the 30-day rule.
Yeah,
She was on the council and she didn't make the appointment.
She
So-
appointed me to the Civil Service Commission.
Yeah, I appointed,
And then-
it was Nicole
so
Beatty,
that-
it was Counselor Dr. McCabe, and it was, who's the third person? We know because we opened, if there was no Civil Service Commission, we wouldn't have been able to open a test and hire full-time police officers. So please do not give these people wrong information.
Yeah.
Under our previous
you're
chief,
done.
who was also here, we were able to hire full-time officers. We were able to host a test, rank those officers, and then follow up by hiring them. That would not have been able to be completed if we did not have a Civil Service Commission. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year.
Good evening.
Very short report. We'll have more at the legislative session. As it's the beginning of the month, we're still doing reconciliations. Currently closing out and reconciling fiscal year 2022. Also currently opening up fiscal year 2023 and entering the approved budget. In the process of scheduling our workers' compensation and liquid fuels audits, both are due by 1/31/23. Currently working on the 21-22 GASB 75 report. That anticipated completion date is January 20th. Working on all of the annual DCED required reports. Just finished the energy savings plan for the borough. We just locked in rates for 24 months. I advise any resident to take advantage of those rates as they are falling now. Post-pandemic, we're preparing W-2s for employees and 1099s for vendors that they're due out by 1/31. Also, we are in the process of conducting our quarterly internal audits for payroll, leave time, vendor payments, and benefits. We just completed all of our year-end grant drawdowns for fiscal year 2022, anticipating those dollars to be in by the end of the month. We're scheduling department head meetings to discuss the current budget so everyone's on the same page. We received I apologize, that bullet should not be there, received budget request. That's from a prior report. And we're currently working to include the leave time in our payroll system. That should be completed by this Friday. There is my report. Questions, comments? Thank you.
Mr. Nichols? Since you've been with the Borough of Yale, have we hired any full-time police officers?
Yes.
Was the Civil Service Commission required to do so?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Pretty much.
Mr. Nichols,
Yes.
this is
Counsel.
easy. I'm just asking that you ensure that all vendors receive a 1099.
Yes, ma'am.
All
I
vendors.
require, even with a fight, vendors
Yeah.
to submit
All.
W-4s.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you.
Are we going to get one?
Thank you.
You get a W.
We get a
Oh, we get a W, okay, thank you.
Okay. Tax collector's report, do you have it?
Y'all need to send that.
Okay. Engineers report.
Good evening. I actually have no action items and there won't be any motions for the next legislative meeting. However, I do want to update you on some of the projects that we are either actively working on or like to complete in 2023. All of them are either grant funded or come from liquid fuels. The first one is the Cypress Street Sanitary Sewer Rehabilitation from Longacre to Bailey Road. That is a 2021 CDBG project. They will cover all of the construction funds with some support from liquid fuels. We are about 95% of the way down the design. It will go out to bid soon because it is in front of the school. The contractor is required to do the work over the summer while school is not in session, and we'll be coordinating all of that work as well. The next project is the Duff Avenue improvement. That is a 2022 CDBG project. Once we're kind of complete with Cypress and we get moving on that, we will move on to the Duff Avenue one. The design of the West Cobbs Creek infrastructure improvement project, that is the TA set-aside project, the really large mile-long streetscape, medians, ramps, crosswalks, overall improvement to that corridor. That was in place last year. We are starting on the design process. That is an entire HOP multiple year length project. We discussed community park improvement. That is via grants from DCNR and the Delco Greenway Fund. That is a tot lot, playground, walkway expansion, picnic table, improvements to a large portion of community park. The speed hump at the intersection of McDade and Church is, the permit for that is being submitted this week. The manager signed a form to finalize some of those documents. That would be funded by Liquid Fuels. And then roads to be paved as part of an annual project would also be Liquid Fuels and would happen in the spring.
Again, I do have one question.
Yep.
The 2022 CDBG project does not require a match.
I don't believe so. The match would be the design and engineering, no additional liquid fuels funds that I'm aware of, but I will double check.
I have a question, follow-up. On Church and McDade, I'm still not clear as to the next steps, because that's a top priority, and it seems like I don't understand what's the next step. So what is the next step, and when is that going to happen, and when is that project going to be completed?
So the Church and McDade, because there is such a priority, we are expediting a speed hump on a state road, which is why it's taking a little bit longer, but that will be prior to the intersection, to the left of the intersection as you come through it. That, our goal is to get that approved and installed as soon as possible. And then more, major, larger improvements will happen as part of the West Cobbs Creek. It will come down West Cobbs and up McDade, and there will be larger improvements there. And that's what's being designed now. Yes.
It's a one-way.
So which road is this? Which road is it going on? This the hump?
It will be to the left of the intersection. Am I saying the wrong intersection? I apologize.
Is it on the 900 block or the 1000 block?
900, right before the
So we
900.
own the 900 block. So you're.
So it's on it's the end of the state. It's right where it goes to the township or the borough portion. but it is the state, so it's the opposite part.
Okay, because you said state road, but we have a state road. So you're saying the state road. So is that Route 13? That's McDade, you're saying?
McDade, yeah, so the portion that PennDOT owns, that state, because we want to put a speed hump on there, we have to get a permit from them. And that is,
Because we have a street nearby named State Road. That was the
Oh.
confusing part. So it's on McDade, you're putting a
yes,
speed
it is a
hump.
state road, which
McDade
is the.
a state road where you're
Yes.
putting a speed hump.
Isn't both McDade and
Church are owned
Church
by the
Lake are
state.
both state roads?
That's
Correct.
Right.
But it'll be McDade in that area.
So they're both state roads. Church Lane's a state road.
Right, but which state road is the hump going on? McDade?
Yes.
Okay.
Did I answer your question, or I'm really hoping?
I would be more comfortable if we had a timeline or a general timeline. For example, do you know when the one-way's going in?
That will not be. That is part of the larger one. That one will be years.
Years?
That's part of the West Cubs Creek one. That's being all looped in together.
Because we have two neighbors that are moving out because they can't wait, because the crashes continue.
Yeah.
Yeah, the crashes are continuing. There
And they
was
never got
another
any
crash
help.
like three weeks ago.
And they sick of this council.
Fundraiser that Sharon promised Lorraine.
Don't lie on me. Don't lie on me.
Anyway.
Liz, you don't never stop believing.
She don't never
Brenda
stop
one that
lying.
said she
That's
was gonna do
she's got a disease.
So, is it Megan? Can I ask
Disease.
What's the
can I
question?
ask
What's
for
the
a
question, sir?
schematic
I'm
at
sorry.
the next, can I ask for a schematic at the next meeting to actually show us what's happening? Okay. Can you have enough available for the public as well? Thank you.
We gotta wrap this.
And we are expediting this with the state, with PennDOT, right?
Yes, the speed hump is part of that.
Yeah, I think she's gonna wear something like Pazula, because he just texted me. And I said, you need help?
My understanding is that goes through the police chief here, at least there, or the police department. They review it to see if it's feasible in the area and if it's
Then it comes to
required,
council.
and then it moves up. But I believe that starts with the police department.
No, she's up to
Do you have a,
Okay,
can I ask a question?
anything else?
That's all I have.
Okay, that's great. You can
Thank
be
you.
excused. Thank you.
Thank you very
Have a good evening.
Okay, the code department, Public Works,
Mike has a report. Unfortunately, he had to leave because of a family issue that just arose. And with your permission, Madam President,
we just hold it for them.
we hold it. You don't want to move forward?
Nope, just hold
Okay,
it.
let's go. No
Okay.
problem.
You can go, you know.
Public safety.
Public safety,
We have the Public Works report. Do we want to just read it for the residents
No.
who are here?
no. No, it'll be read at our general meeting. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Miss Clara. Okay.
So, Madam President,
You can put it on the website.
Madam
It'll be on the
President,
website.
Madam President, there are some dates.
Now
here.
for the fire
Madam
department.
President, may I be recognized? I was speaking before you.
No, ma'am. The,
So, there are some
is
important
the fire
dates.
department representative here?
Okay, so
Okay.
there are some important dates
Emergency
on here
management
that we
code.
might miss or not
Okay,
be
he's
ready
sick.
for by
Okay.
the next meeting.
All right.
So are you-
Recreation
On vacation.
is on vacation.
We already.
So all of these reports will be on the website. Thank you. Okay, this meeting is now adjourned.